Hi there, I'm Trunks from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and these are the Anime Egotists. You know, in the future, podcasts are a little bit different. They're actually from pods. You know, people trying to hide from the androids and everything. I had a favorite podcast for a while, but it got canceled. By the androids. They got killed by the androids. Don't get killed by the androids!
And welcome back to the Anime Egotists, where we're not as good as champions as Leon, but we have way better sense of directions than he does.
Yeah, we actually make it to our championship matches on time because we're not on the other side of the country.
Exactly. Anyways, my name's Alex, and yeah, Pokemon has gotten me back into wanting to make curry.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I have a pretty good curry for myself, and I'm Richard.
That's correct. And wow, it's been over a year since we've done one of these videos. A lot of you guys really seem to enjoy the what if the game protagonists from the Pokemon games were in the anime, interacting with Ash, rivaling Ash, just learning from him, all that sort of thing. So we decided to do that again, but this time on a little bit of a different side.
Yeah, because this time we're actually going to have to create the series.
That's correct. Since Pokemon Journeys did such a fantastic job of incorporating Galar, and everyone's okay with how it's done, that's obvious sarcasm if you can't pick that up, I don't know how to help you. We decided Galar's getting its own series. Galar's not getting English. The characters aren't getting the treatment of, they're the side characters to Ash. No, they suffered so much that we're giving them a little bit of a pass this time. They're getting their own show.
Yeah, so I think we both kind of concentrated on each of the player characters, I think. Well, you concentrated on Victor and I concentrated on kind of coming up with Gloria, and we had different ideas, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And for those of you who are wondering, oh, what about the rivals? Well, they're in here, mostly. Actually, no, they are in this. But let us know if this works, because I don't know. I can't add these characters into Journeys. It's just it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, it'd be too much, and I don't know. There's just not a good way of developing characters unless they're there the entire time.
Yeah. So forget about Hop getting stomped by Ash, forget about Marnie having that lame battle with Ash in that one episode, and forget Bee doing a whole nothing burger. This is the Galar protagonists getting their own anime.
All right. So how do you want to start this one?
All right, so I think it's best if we start, well, in the beginning. So I feel like the characters Victor or Gloria, and yes, even Hop at this point, all live in Postwick, or the first town you live in the game. And according to Pokemon games like Pokemon Masters and maybe even the manga, they've said that Gloria gets a lot of her personality from her mom and her trademark bag from her mom, while Victor gets all of his stuff from his dad. So it seems to me like we're going with the route of, I guess they each only have one parent, which is a really weird trend they do in Pokemon games. I still don't get that.
Well, for Gloria, I actually had that her dad...
Here we go.
I'm sorry, is kind of more of a out of the picture. I mean, he's there, but kind of limited in his time he spends at home. I actually had her dad be the cabbie from this, and this will come back into play later. So his being the guy who flies around on the with the Corviknight and all that to take people up places.
Okay.
And the reason for this, and I'll get back into this later, is that I had him be the former flying gym leader for Galar. He retired from battling and has taken up a career as the owner/operator of Pokemon Corviknight Cab, whatever they call it, flying cab.
Yeah.
So, and the whole reason I did this was I gave Gloria her first Pokemon as Rookidee from her dad.
Yeah, okay.
I know, it's changing things from the manga, but this is just kind of where
I just kind of had an idea of just giving everybody a starter. Well, by everybody, I just mean, but regardless, I had her having Rookedy too, so it's fine.
Okay.
We didn't split these characters up, so I have a little bit for everybody.
Okay.
Hey, so yeah, Rookedy's fine. I just had it evolve into Corviknight at some point down the line, though, for Gloria.
Yeah, that was my mindset as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. So, I guess we kind of started similar to how the games start. Hop's brother Leon is coming to town. Is that how we're?
Yeah. Yeah. And as much as I don't love the idea that we automatically assume Gloria is the main character, at this point, Gloria and Hop know each other. Or they've been childhood friends. They don't know Victor all that well. He's just kind of like somebody asks, "Oh, do you know that guy Victor?" It's like, "Oh yeah, we've seen him around. We've grown up with him, but we don't really know him." Kind of like most of my neighbors, if I'm being honest. But Victor like I said, he gets his stuff from his dad, and he's interested in exploring, but he's not quite interested in. He's interested in being champion, but it doesn't start right away. Hey, ultimately, he kind of just wants to go at his own pace. Very kind of laissez-faire, into nature, early riser, because they seem to point out a lot like, oh yeah, he's usually the first person up, and he's like very into being outside and taking naps out there and everything. Just very calm. And ultimately, all three of them do get their starters around the same time, because in the games, when Hop had Wooloo, he still got a Galar starter.
Yeah, and that was kind of part of my mindset with the Gloria giving her Rookedy from her dad, and then she still gets one of the starter Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, but Victor's very well. I'm not going to describe it with the story I had for him yet, but like it's I don't know. He's kind of he's kind of the dad of the group in a sense.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Yeah, but they get their starters, and as difficult as it was to label down starters, because every single piece of media I've seen just makes things so much more difficult, I did finally come down with something.
Okay.
All right, Victor gets Grookey.
Okay.
No particular reason why. I kind of just like, it kind of I don't know. It just sort of works in some cases. Is I actually ended up growing to like Grookey a lot more, with the exception of Journeys. We're not really going to get into that. And I actually said Gloria would have Inteleon or Sobble.
Okay, so that means Hop gets Cinderace.
Yes, or Scorbunny.
Scorbunny.
Yeah, I'm not doing the Pokemon Masters thing where I give Gloria 2 starters. That makes no. Oh well, I guess technically with her costumes, technically 3 starters. That's stupid.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I always. I don't know. The starters always seem to, or the protagonists of the games always seem to be associated mostly with one, but it feels like this group really got everything just based on which piece of promotional image you saw.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and mainly Gloria gets the focus compared to Victor, who gets left out. But I actually incorporate that into the story.
Okay.
But they all start going off, and I'm just obviously not. They don't all travel together, because in my opinion, that would be kind of boring if they all start having different goals in life. If they all kind of, it's very similar to Ash and his rivals. They all end up meeting with each other, and during the time period where it's like, hey, everybody. This is the announcement of the tournament we're starting. We see them, we see Bede and Marnie, kind of like in the beginning of Sword and Shield. You can talk to Bede and Marnie without fully meeting them before their introductory scene. Like, they all kind of know each other at this point.
Yeah, they're all they've gotten, I think it's not Hammerlock, but, or is it Hammerlock that has
I think it might be.
But it's the one with the fire gym where they kind of doing their introduction. Pretty much the big tournament's being announced that if you can beat the gyms, you can compete in the tournament for your chance to face the undefeatable champion Leon
and his amazing posing skills. But regardless, I think in some cases we've kind of been beating around the bush a little bit. I'm horrified to ask what Gloria's personality is.
So. I think I've joked on here a lot that if we ever got to this video, I was going to make her overly, extremely Scottish, but...
That's not a personality, that's the thing.
No, but I kind of thought that she should be. I'm trying to think of the right words to describe it. Is she's competitive? I is kind of my mindset. I had her as not the same way as Ash. I kind of viewed it more as like the kind of the Premier League soccer player kind of view of competitiveness. And uh, just kind of that more aggressive form. She's not unfriendly, but when it comes to battling, she's out there to win. Is kind of her mindset.
No, I kind of have the same thing. And as funny as Scottish Gloria memes can be, sometimes sometimes it's like, huh, it's kind of hard to make a like established character based off this and other stuff. But like we said, she and Hop get along pretty well. I feel like Bait the Games kind of just put it as, oh, they're friends, they're cool with each other. But I feel like her and Victor are polar opposites, though.
Yeah, I view Victor definitely as the more calm one of the two. Especially after you described him with going out in nature and falling asleep, kind of things.
You know, she's just like at the get to the point where she keeps waking him up. So like, we have to keep going. It's like the gym's gonna be there itself. Like she just starts shaking him, wake up, and he's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I definitely see kind of having two different mindsets when it comes to the adventure. He's enjoying the journey, and she wants to get to the destination. Is kind of where we're at
Yeah,
the start, especially.
yeah. Admittedly, I did have something for Victor and Hop's dynamic, despite the fact that they haven't known each other long.
Okay,
Have you seen Scrubs?
bits and pieces, yes.
That's not helpful in the slightest. JD and Turk.
Those are the two main characters, right? It's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, or I guess you've seen enough of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
yeah.
Think Hitchcock and Scully.
Okay, so
Just
kind
like
of
the inseparable, over-the-top best friends. Like that scene in Soul Eater where Soul and Black Star break up, and it's like, hey, well, we could still be friends though, right? It's like, of course, you idiot. Just that sort of thing. And Gloria's just like, what the hell am I looking at?
yeah. She's just yeah. I she I have a feeling she views herself as the kind of most mature of the three, but then she really isn't.
No.
She it's just her acting more serious than the other two.
Yeah. Yeah, like if it's not Team Rocket, but if a dangerous scenario ever happened and they all reunited, Victor and Hop just run up and hug each other, and they're just like, and she's just like, I think I'm the most mature of you. Like, no, just in this one instance.
Yeah, that's yeah. And it's not necessarily that. It's just that I don't know. They're acting like they're actually good friends versus Gloria acting just kind of nonchalant about something that actually could be more serious than she thinks.
Yeah, or I guess the best way for you to describe would be like they have kind of Luffy and Usopp's relationship. Like you
Mhm.
wouldn't think of them being best friends, but they are each other's best friend after a while.
Yeah, and I kind of have it as Gloria is kind of Zoro in that same situation where she's she acts more serious, but she's not. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Yes, but obviously we have to talk about Bede and Marnie now. Oh boy, it's kind of tough in some cases to talk about of these two because while, like I said, I think they're very likable. Well, their stories are interesting, but their characters don't. It feels like at times they could have done more with these two.
Yeah. Do you mean in the game specifically, or I mean,
Yes.
obviously in the anime, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
but
Well, yes, in the games, the games is like, oh, if you had done like one or two more scenes with them, they could have been perfect.
yeah. So I had a kind of idea for kind of their Marnie's first interaction with the whole group, kind of thing, is that it's in the hotel after the announcement of the tournament, right before they start out on their journey to face the gyms, and Gloria gets annoyed at the Team Yell members that are kind of causing all these issues. And when she finds out that they're specifically rooting for Marnie, she drags Hop and Victor in and makes them cheer for her while she faces Marnie in a one-on-one battle to start.
Oh god. So it's just like you both are cheering for me. It's just like, do we have to? It's like, yes. It's just like, yeah.
She pulls out pom poms literally and hands it to him. You're cheering for me.
It's just like go. It's just like, yeah, go Gloria. Whoa, it's like that's not good enough. And then they start getting too over the top. It's just like, okay, now it's too much. This is weird. Yeah, I thought about something similar for that. That works for me.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Marty and Gloria would end up having some sort of rivalry between them.
No. Oh no, I completely agree with that. And I get the feeling that, like we talked about, Gloria's not is competitive, but she's not a mean-spirited person. So at times she does try to kind of reach out to Marnie, but Marnie's a little hesitant about like you're kind of, like the first interaction we had was a little on the weird side. And meanwhile, we can keep the same thing for Beat and Hop. Like Beat is the mountain that Hop kind of has to overcome. Except I think at this we'll talk about later down the line. As for Victor, I feel like Victor's kind of the person who Marnie he's the first person to kind of understand, reach out to Marnie. It's like, hey, I know Gloria's a little much, but like, I don't know. Oh, I think in the end we could all be friends in a sense. And and as much as Marnie doesn't want to admit it, she kind of thinks to herself that Victor kind of gets her.
Yeah, I think that we go more into detail with Marnie's feeling of needing to put Spike Myth Gym on the map and all of that is kind of a large part of her character and that's what alienates her, especially at the start from the main group, I feel like.
Yeah.
Is her obsession with it.
Yeah. And at the same time, though, Victor's always kind of, like everybody else kind of thinks to herself at times, oh, what's up with Marnie? But Victor's the one person who's just like, oh, no, I just want to reach out to her at some point, kind of making the two kind of become relatively close as the series progresses.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we could eventually get more with Marnie and opening up about why she's so obsessed with kind of, I don't know, rebuilding the gym or rebuilding the gym's image, however you want to put it.
Exactly.
Kind of mindset.
And as for Beat, I kind of feel like Gloria's a bit more aggressive towards Beat than Hop would be. Like almost to the point where people kind of have to like it's just like, oh, you pathetic trainers, don't worry, you'll watch me shove. Gloria's like, how about I watch you fly when I throw my boot, and then Victor kind of just grabs like, down, girl, heel, down.
Yeah. Again, I think the first interaction, though, kind of with the group would be through Hop, then with Bede, and he'd end up losing that first battle.
Yeah. But in a sense, I do want these guys going after gyms because, like, look, if they're not going to use the Galar gyms in their series, well, guess what? We're using them in ours. Now, and in this series, we're not going to see every single one of Gloria's gym battles or every single one of Victor's gym, etc., etc. We get to see different people fighting gyms. Like, we could see Gloria fighting Kabu or Victor fighting Alistair, that sort of thing, just so we don't have the same gym battles over and over again, because that gets super boring.
Yeah, especially because that's the part that I don't fully understand. So there's, I guess, 8 pro level gyms, and then I think there's 16 types total, or however many, and the rest are all semi-pro gyms, and that's where like the different like, I know the fighting and ghost gyms replace each other, and the rock and steel gyms rock and ice gyms replace each other in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we see the poison.
Yeah. And that could be an example. Like you could see Gloria go after B and Victor go after Alistair, that sort of thing. Hey, how would they pull it off in that sense? Because they're kind of in the same place. I don't know, but both characters seem to exist in the canon universe somehow, so they'll find a way somehow.
Yeah, I kind of view it as like if it's on. certain days of the week it's a ghost gym, and certain days of the week it's a fighting gym kind of thing.
Sure, why not? It's gonna be real awkward to see the gyms just pop in and out if you're just scrolling through at midnight, but that's their problem, not ours.
Oh, they just turn the light. They have two sets of light bulbs and they change colors.
Yeah, works for me. Hey, but since look, I had to go with the very few things I could find on Victor. I'd have that he's one of the best chefs ever.
So kind of that mindset of he serves kind of as Brock when they're together. He does all the cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like if all of them like hypothetically if all of them showed up together, apparently it's revealed that Gloria is a really big eater in some universes, so she would always be like kind of staring over his shoulder and he's like, if you drool on my curry, I will hit you with my spoon. Back up, please.
I could see one of the times that probably like the second or third time that they all kind of meet up for and Victor says, "Hey, I'll make some curry, but y'all have to set up the camp and get the campfire going so I can make it." And I could see Gloria making this huge fire that's way too hot, and Victor's just like, "Okay, well your competitiveness has come out, but I can't cook on this."
I'm not cooking on this. She doesn't even have score bunny. How did I want? You know what? I want to know. I'll just make it. And even Bede could be like, "Well, I guess it wasn't bad, but mine's better." He's like, "You had 6 plates."
And he's like, I could also see him thinking that he ate more than anyone, and then just look, there's an image behind Gloria with like 10 plates stacked up behind her.
It's like, we'll have more of a contest, and Victor's like, guys, we're out of ingredients. We're gonna have to forage or something. I'm not doing this anymore.
I'm kind of liking these interactions.
Yeah, yeah. But I do. Okay, so you talked about Gloria and her dad being like part of like being a former flying gym leader. Did you have any more on that? Because I'm kind of curious about it.
Pretty much that I had him be the champion in between Mustard and Leon, and so he's the champion that lost. He decided to at one point. I don't know where I was going to put his gym. I don't know if it's in that first town area, and he disbanded the gym when he chose to retire, and that's just so that's why there's no gym in that one town, because I think it's the only town in the entire game that doesn't have one.
Something like that.
So I'm kind of thinking that that's the case, and he's opened up the flying cab and all that, and the mindset I kind of had was that whenever someone uses the flying taxi, Gloria seems to disappear. She doesn't want to see her dad until either she's stronger or he decides to come looking for her. They've got a strained relationship from the fact that she feels like he's always working.
I mean, I guess it's better than what I had, because I had nothing for her dad, because it just doesn't seem like he exists in canon, but I don't know.
Well, here we go. I created something, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm tossing one of my ideas out, so, but either way, I'm not married to most of my ideas, though.
Yeah, but I just thought, eventually, I don't know, I've got a couple different ideas on how to take this. I'm just trying to decide which one. But pretty much every time the flying taxi gets called for like Victor or someone who wants to take it somewhere, she all of a sudden disappears.
Instead of landing, she just tells Victor, "Just jump down. Oh, Rookity will catch you." It's just like, why? And I'm like, yeah, no thanks. I don't trust that thing to catch me.
So what was your next kind of idea?
All right, so for me, like, I guess jumping into it a little bit, I kind of get the feeling that Victor's the person in that everybody kind of goes to when they're down with something. Like, when Hop starts losing to Bede and Bede points out, you think you're good because you're Leon's brother, but that's not good enough in his own usual charming way. Victor's kind of the person who helps him out and says, well, you don't have to be Leon's brother, you could be Hop. There's a difference. He helps Hop out in that regard. He helps Gloria feel better about just getting stronger, or in regards to her father. He finds a way of helping a lot of people, but it takes its toll on him, because being he's kind of the person who has the shoulder that everybody cries on, but as it progresses, it kind of takes its toll on him, and you do kind of see that as nice as he is, he's starting to get to the point where it's like this is too much.
Okay. Do you have like a point in this story where he starts feeling this way?
Yes, but this is where it gets kind of complicated at this point.
Okay, yeah, because I had an idea, and I'm kind of stealing this from the Black and White series, and it's just every so often that there are kind of mini exhibition tournaments. I mean, you have your gym leaders and stuff, but they are kind of there to do different types of gym battles and different things that have, or not gym battles, but different types of battling. And I saw like one tournament being a tag tournament where you partner up with another trainer, and just like how it always happens in Pokemon, and I hate to say that it always happens this way, but they end up partnered with like their worst possible match. So it's Gloria and Marnie get partnered up, Bede and Hop get partnered up, and Victor he gets either partnered with like I could see him maybe getting partnered with Alistair.
Yeah.
In this tournament.
I was either going to say Sonia or who's the girl in the DLC with the embarrassing dad?
I think is that Fiona or is that her dad?
Yeah, either way, one of the two. But regardless, I did kind of have that idea of everybody's progressing. Bede starts to progress, Pop starts to progress, Marnie, Gloria starts to progress. But Victor's kind of taking a back seat, and he kind of realized, and it's at the point where he's like, I've been helping everybody so much, and I don't regret that. But it's all of this is kind of taking its toll on me, and I hate to kind of do this, but it kind of gets to the point where maybe he kind of feels a bit underappreciated for everything. And as nice and tranquil as he is, he kind of snaps and so he's like, you know what? How about somebody else go up for once? And everybody just sort of looks at him. He's like, I'm sorry, I'll get started. And everyone's like, no, just what's up? And he kind of just says, look, I just sort of feel like, hey, similar to Brock when he's like, Ash and Dawn are really progressing, but what about me? What am I doing? Except this actually has build up and isn't just thrown in at the last second.
Yeah, so we would have seen a couple of times where he doesn't snap, but you can kind of see that something didn't go the way he was hoping for.
Yeah.
And
yeah. It's a very slow build. It's a very slow build. And I do have it tying into one of his Pokemon, but I guess we should talk about some of the Pokemon on other teams besides the starters.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, I mentioned Rookity, and you brought up Sobble for
Yeah.
Gloria.
Fun fact, both of those Pokemon were already on my list. So for once, us having the same idea actually works out in some regard.
And then since I already have two for Gloria through that, do you have I guess it would be like three for or two your second Pokemon for Victor?
I had the whole teams for both of them just in case. Well, not the whole teams, but just like I just have 6 that could work in a sense because sometimes people catch more than 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So we talked about Grookey, and that evolves into Rillaboom for Victor.
Mm-hmm.
But I also I did steal this from Pokemon Masters, and it has grown on me quite a bit. The Squirrel Greedent.
Okay.
Yeah. It seems to like getting a lot of different berries, and that helps exponentially with his curry. And even in Pokemon Masters, he teaches a cooking class, and Greedent's kind of his assistant, because everybody, like I said, apparently Victor's like the best chef in Pokemon. It's kind of crazy.
I don't know. I guess it'll be between him and Brock, because I know Brock's.
They haven't. Anime Brock is not in Pokemon Masters, so I guess we're not. We're still waiting on that.
Okay. So let's see. One of the ideas I had for one of Gloria's Pokemon was the Colossal Pokemon.
Oh, that's right. You really like that.
Yeah, it gives her something that's a bit different from like the rest that she has already. It's been a little while since I've played Sword and Shield, so this is the last one of the ones I just remember really enjoying. So I put it on her team.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, for Gloria, I kind of picked a bunch of Pokemon and I'm like, I don't remember anybody using these.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, I remember rarely, if anybody, using Ursula, not Corsola, Ursula.
I could see it. It's an interesting because it's the ghost rock Pokemon that we
Yeah. Yeah,
had
and
waited
it's
for.
and it has one of the most depressing Pokedex entries ever. To the point where I'm like, good God, somebody give this thing a good home, please.
So I could see her having both and kind of switching out as what her rock type Pokemon is.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about Corviknight, so I'm scratching that off. For okay, I'm gonna be honest. I never had one of these Pokemon during my playthrough of Shield, or I guess actually my playthrough of Sword right afterwards. And the Pokedex description was always kind of interesting to me. Do you remember the Pokemon in DD?
Yeah, it's the Chansey replacement for the
Sort of, yeah. In a way, I guess. They're very look, apparently they're super powerful, but they're also very, very gentle. So I guess pairing it with a more disturbing Pokemon or just baby-like Pokemon could work, or especially if Gloria's is unhinged at times, as some people make her out to be.
I could see it.
Like I said, that one was kind of just a let me just close my eyes and pick a Pokemon. Indeedy. Oh, okay, sure, why not?
I can definitely see it. It's I could see both of them having what because it's the one that has male and female differences in the generation. So I could see both of them having one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said hers was male, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Neither one of them made enough differences to the point where I'm like, I need that one on her team or on his team. You get it.
Yeah, it's just kind of the hair horn things
Yeah.
change whether they're up or down.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, Stone Journer was always a Pokemon I never cared about. But then the second I started doing a lot more research on it, I'm like, oh, I actually kinda like this. Next time I do a playthrough, I'm getting this Pokemon.
Yeah, I just remember it being so late in the game was the most unfortunate part of it not
Yeah.
being readily available right away.
Yeah. Yeah, still though, I do remember it having oh, that's right. It has power spot. Hot. So just being next to the Pokemon powers up just being next to Stone Journer powers up other Pokemon. So I could see her being like, okay, this is for double battles.
Yeah, I, hmm. I'm trying to think if I had. So I wanted to give someone. Now, I don't know if I would give it to Gloria or Victor, but Cramorant, the water Pokemon that sometimes swallows Pikachu.
Okay, I feel like I remember Hop having it in the games, but don't quote me on that.
Again, that's why I can't remember if he had one or not. That's why I wanted to bring it up because it's one of my. I didn't use one, but it's one of those that I kind of wish I had, just because it's got such a unique gimmick with the whole attack that gains power if you end up having a Pikachu instead of a Barracuda Pokemon, whatever what it's called.
Well, let's see. It debuted in the Secrets of the Jungle movie. It's under the ownership of Hop and from what seems like a lot of different media. I just figured we'd keep the rivals team the same because, like, what else would we do?
Okay, then that's perfectly fine. I could see his Cramorant whenever it always seems to get a Pikachu is kind of my mindset though.
Yeah, I could sadly see that. What are your thoughts on Berserker?
Well, isn't oh, okay, that's the Meowth one. For some reason,
yeah,
I
the
went
Steel Meowth with like, I took a look at the design. It almost looks like it has like a hidden blade and spur. I'm like, oh, that takes us from one of my least favorite Pokemon to one of. It elevates it a good bit.
I liked it better than the Alolan Meowth, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was there one? No, there was no generation between those.
Not that I'm aware of. And I did look up its Pokedex entry. It's very competitive, but almost in a toxic sort of way. Like it doesn't like weakness. So that could be perfect for Gloria in the sense of, hey, we both have to be competitive. That's cool, but there's a right and a wrong way to do it.
Yeah, and I could see there being a bit of a story there where they end up being a bad influence on each other and overdoing it and
Yeah.
causing like rather than just knocking out their not killing or anything, but causing actually some injuries to some Pokemon.
Yeah. 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 As for Victor, let's see. We did Rillaboom, Greedent, And I thought Al Creamy.
Yes, that's actually based on him being a good cook. That one I could see being
Yeah, I specifically wanted the rainbow one.
okay. Any specific berry or
I
candy
just
thing?
said strawberry, but all strawberries go in curry, don't they? Can't they?
It's possible. I'm not. I only have one curry dish, and that's that chicken curry that is just a regular curry.
Strawberry curry does in fact exist.
So okay, yeah, I could definitely see that.
Then again, it's Victor. He can seemingly make anything out of well anything. So in a way, it works. It's talked about greed. He didn't, and I figured toxicity just because they're polar opposites.
So you mean toxicity amps for
Yes.
okay.
I never, no matter what I do, I can never get low key for him. But hey, that even if I prefer amped, it's just very loud and exuberant, and Victor doesn't always know how to handle it.
Okay, yeah, I it's funny because that was the when I got my little Toxel in the game, my first one was the subdued form
Yeah,
when it evolved, and I was so confused.
yeah. But even if Victor never fully understands it, it's kind of like that episode of Diamond and Pearl where it's like, oh, how close are Brock and Krogan? Despite everything Krogan puts Brock through, it's like, oh wow, it seems like you guys are about as close as Ash and Pikachu, and you've only known each other for a few days. Like Victor never quite knows how to get it, but Toxicity loves Victor.
I can definitely see that. I see it like really liking his cooking and just constantly wanting to help out, but it doesn't know how to.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Heck, I could see Victor being the type of person, once he makes curry, he starts getting swarmed by wild Pokemon. He's like, guys, please help. This curry's so good. Guys, help, please. I don't have enough.
I did have one Pokemon for Victor that I thought would be. I don't know if it would be exactly the right fit, but it was Phalanx. The little
Right.
marching.
Oh, yeah, I remember for that Journeys episode.
Yeah, I liked the design. This design grew on me, I guess is the right mindset. I was a little nervous about it, but I could see it being one of the Pokemon that shows up early on during the curry, and he just wants to come with him. It actually separates out to eat the curry, and it's just so happy whenever he makes it.
Sure. Like I said, look, I'm okay with them having more than 6 Pokemon, in all honesty. It always, to me, was always more interesting when it's like, oh, we've seen this person have 10 Pokemon on from the first episode they were into the most recent one. So that's fine with me. Heck, I had him get that Pokemon Arctofish.
Okay, so the one of the fossil Pokemon.
Yeah. I'm cool with Gloria getting one too, but like I said, Gloria gets a lot in terms of Mia, so I was really, really focusing on Victor. It's water and ice, and apparently its mouth is on the top of its head, so Victor would have to kind of try to maneuver. How the hell do I feed this thing?
Yeah. If I was to give Gloria one of the fossils, I'm between Dracozolt and Arctozolt, just because we've seen I mean, we got Dracovish a bit more, and you're giving Arctovish to Victor. So
Arctozolt works for me.
yeah, I think so too. It would be. It's kind of got that weird design because it looks like it's Tyrantrum mixed with something else.
Yeah, I was about to say, aren't all of the fossil Pokemon from this generation kind of weird looking?
Yeah, but this one it looks like it's like oh god the Tyrantrum or it's with its but it evolved.
Yeah, yeah. But getting back to the main story, we do see them at least try to help each other out. Like I'd see even Bede kind of being the reason Gloria kind of gets over her fear of her dad in the set. That's just like kind of similar to it's like what like someday you're going to surpass him. Why show and even if you fail, why show fear in the face of that? Because say what you want about Bede, but you never see the guy scared.
No, you see him disappointed in himself and all that with the how he loses his sponsorship and all that, but
Yeah,
he bounces back pretty quick.
That could even play into it. Like you could still do the story of him ultimately losing it, falling on his feet, and that falling on his knees, and then Opal saying, "Hey, have you look? You don't have a place to stay? Well, guess what? You're coming with me." Which a lot of people joke about, but in all honesty, it was him having a stable parental figure in his life, and what. And even in his own weird way, he could help Gloria realize, hey, you can show appreciation to people by surpassing them. Don't be fearful of that.
Yeah. Let's see. So I guess that kind of completes the teams, unless you have more for Victor, right?
I was going to say for Victor, or since we didn't go over this, like when everybody else is surpassing him, everybody else is either about to be ready for the tournament, or getting close to accomplishing their goal. He's struggling to the point where he's like, I think I need to take some time. And at one point, he gets an invitation. And Mustard, or kind of invites him, says, "Hey, why don't you train with us?" And while he struggles at first, he does show perseverance, especially against Clara.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Clara, Clara, Avery, and throughout that, he actually gets the last Pokemon on his team, the Cubfu.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did have an idea for later on, maybe like right before the tournament, and you can tell me if you don't like the idea, but I had Victor, Gloria, and Hop each get one of the Galarian forms of the legendary birds.
Go on.
So I was trying to decide which way to kind of mix them up. I thought Gloria would probably get Zapdos, since it's fighting type, but I thought the competitiveness might fit her as well. But with Hop and Victor, I was trying to decide which one gets Moltres and which one gets Articuno.
I had a similar idea, but like I said, I'm kind of borrowing it from Pokemon Masters, because in Pokemon Masters, you're a third right. Hey, Hop gets Zapdos.
Okay.
Hop gets Zapdos. Okay, here we go. Hop gets Zapdos, Bede gets Articuno, and Marnie gets Moltres.
Okay.
Yeah. I struggle with that because it's the idea in my head, but the story itself was not all that good in the game. No matter how much I praise Pokemon Masters, but honestly, it kind of works out. It kind of works out in a sense.
Okay, well, if that's the case, if they're the ones getting it and Victor got Urshifu, I'm trying to think of. I could see maybe one of the Reggies going to Gloria, and that way they each have a legendary going into like the tournament or something.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd be cool with that. Heck, I mean, the crazy thing is, I do remember us giving Go a hard time for catching Articuno. Well, at the same time, though, I don't think that was Go's fault for the episode or anything. I think it was, somebody catching a legendary Pokemon could be interesting, but this could have been done better.
Again, I think if it's done as a full story arc where the legendary Pokemon kind of comes to trust them, but there's more to it than just the one-off episode that I think Go's is.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to dump on Go too much, though. Oh, wait, hold on. Does Urshifu or Cubfu, that's not a legendary Pokemon, though, technically, is it?
No, it is. It has the stats of a legendary when it evolves to Urshifu level.
I'm looking at what's it called? I'm looking at Cerebi, and I trust Cerebi with everything. It's not considered legendary.
Oh, I thought it was.
Nope. But luckily, I do have a backup plan, though.
Okay.
The backup plan I had was Spectier, the ghost horse.
Okay, that would give a spread and introduce. That way, we each one kind of has some sort of representation.
Yeah. But I would have it. But in all honesty, I'm more okay if they have these legendaries. I'm cool if it's like, we have it for the tournament, But this, like, we don't see them walking around Postwick with their legendary Pokemon because in some cases that just gets kind of silly.
Yeah, it's they're each feel like they got a secret weapon.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Kind of like how in the Battle Frontier where Nolan had Articuno. Oh, it could be similar, but not the exact same. It's like, oh, you caught this Articuno? It's like, no, this is just my partner. We battled together. They could still catch them, but just in the sense of I'm not gonna walk up to 10-year-old to 5-year-old Joey and demolish him with my Moltres. That would seem unnecessarily cruel in a sense.
they only use them in tournaments where they're facing someone who is kind of on that same equal footing, either has a legendary or is Leon and is just as strong.
Yeah. Speaking of Leon, we should probably talk about him.
I kind of viewed that he helps, especially once you talked about Victor and having his not necessarily mental breakdown, but kind of his getting overstressed. And I feel like Leon's able to help Victor get through parts of it. He's not able to get him all the way there, but he's able to put him on the right path towards kind of fixing or
Yeah, because like
recovering.
towards the middle of the series, it kind of becomes like everybody's accomplishing their goals. Oh, it's the future of Galar. Oh, and it's Victor too. Like I tried to give Victor a story kind of similar to Bastion from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, except like actually with a proper satisfying conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just that sort of thing. Heck, I even had something for Leon in the sense of he sees Bede's attitude. He's like, that's it. That's the spirit. Keep going. And Bede's like, yeah, what? What? No, no. Most people just snap at me and want to battle me, but you're encouraging. I don't like this. Stop it. Because there's this scene where Dawn and Licia and Masters are trying to do this contest, and Bede's like, oh, you're doing some contest? Oh, well, I'm sure it'll be very entertaining. And he's very sarcastic, and Licia's like, thanks, we really hope for your support. And he's like, what? He's very confused. He's not used to positive affirmation. That's what he gets from Leon, because Leon's seemingly nice to everybody.
Yeah. Leon's the guy who he's nice to you until you give him a reason not to be.
Are you gonna give him a reason not to be? Because I won't.
No, but his I think that comes out during the kind of events of the what is it, the what is it called? The Darkest Day.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, where he's very angry with Rose.
Yeah. I didn't. Here's the Darkest Day is kind of complicated for this story because I didn't just want to copy it because I'm like, huh, Pokemon Journeys kind of did the same thing. But that's kind of why I feel like throwing in the legendaries is a good idea. Each of the legendaries can kind of help the person involved grow. Oh, like it's kind of them catching or befriending the legendaries, kind of their coming to terms moment, like they've come full circle.
Yeah, so I'm thinking for I guess I didn't select a Reggie for Gloria. I think it would be Regieleki, and what it does is that whenever the Darkest Day is happening, whenever she's actually about to like get whatever Pokemon is about to like beat her Pokemon down, and she doesn't want to retreat, and Regieleki helps her like retreat.
Especially since it's very, very fast.
Yeah, that's the kind of mindset I had, is like selecting it is like it shows her that retreating doesn't always necessarily mean giving up fully. It could just be that you're regrouping. And
yeah, I could see that. Since we're skimming details, I forgot to say Victor's Urshifu is single strike.
okay, so that's the dark type one.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, I think so, because I think the other one is the rapid strike, is the water one.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't go. I'm gonna be honest. I almost messed up because when I was looking at Pokemon, I'm like, oh, I'll put this on Victor's team. Oh, that's from Legends Arceus. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work in this scenario.
Was it one of the new forms, or was it Amarys?
I think it was one of the ride Pokemon. I was just like, oh, like the Sneasel evolution, whatever the hell that one was. I was just like, oh wait, that's from Legends Arceus. That complicates things so much, and so no, I'm not doing that.
So I was thinking though that we would, because we dropped oh god, Leon from having one of the whatever the third starter is,
Yeah.
that he ends up with Eternatus.
Oh God, that's not. Oh God. So is it? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Well, the only reason is so that it puts him kind of on that same level as everybody else with a legendary Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in some cases Leon's powered up enough, but then again, I kind of have to call myself out because technically he has one in Pokemon Masters. Jesus, everybody gets a legendary in that game somehow.
I mean, we could look at giving him something else. He could get Calyrex by itself.
Sure, sure, I guess, or the other Urshifu. But regardless, I feel like we've talked about Team Yell a good bit, or just barely in this video.
Mhm.
I feel like they. It's gonna sound stupid, but I feel like they look at Victor and it's like, what's going? It's just like he's bothering you, Marty. It's just like, no, he's actually my. He's no, Vic's actually my friend. Like they don't understand. At one point, it's just like it's like he's my. Like Victor kind of convinces her at some point, like, hey, we're rivals, but we're still friends. And while it takes her a minute to realize, it's like, yeah, he's my friend. So at one point, they just go, you mess with Victor, you mess with us. It's just like, guys, that's okay. You can stay with Marnie. It seems rough. Seems rough.
I could see there being in the either in the finals them cheering for Victor because Marnie's either already been eliminated or is not facing him, and she's cheering for Victor.
Yeah, exactly. I could see that. Heck, I even kind of had him cheering on Marnie against Piers. Like they end up. It's like, oh, we happen to be in Spike Mouth, and we see Marnie versus Piers because I feel like that was. I know the video game focuses on you, but I feel like Marnie versus Piers could have been like, you can skip this cutscene if you want, but we're showing you Marnie versus Piers, and I'm like, yeah, I want to see that.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a really interesting battle because, yeah, I wish they. Just talking about this makes me like, oh, I wish this had actually happened.
Yeah. Every I'm good at coming up with ideas that should have happened, but then somehow didn't. But maybe it's a blessing I'm not writing for the anime. But everybody's cheering her on. I remember this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX where they're cheering on Chumley to face Dr. Crowler, and everybody's like, yeah, Chumley, go get him. But you just hear Chaz's voice very faintly in the background, like, oh, yeah, go, dude, go for it. I feel like that's Beat. Everybody else is loudly cheering Beat's like, go, get him. Whoop that trick. Just like, you can barely hear the stuff he's saying, but he is, in fact, cheering. He's just too proud to admit it.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. So, God, I could almost see Bede being when he finds out that Pierce is Marnie's sister, that he hates the music. He absolutely hates the music. He's into like the stereotypical pop that with the pink and all that, and
I thought you were going to say classical music, but that somehow works even better.
Yeah, but he hates the harder rock metal sound that Pierce and his group do. So
yeah, but like I said, I'd have Barney beat Piers and just like kind of just showing like, hey, maybe I'll be a gym leader someday, but from now I want to focus on my goal. Oh, and Piers kind of pulls Victor aside. It's like, hey, I appreciate you doing what you're doing for Marnie. It's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then Pierce just kind of jokingly says, all right, you guys go. Marnie, get your boyfriend and get out of here. And Marnie's like, you idiot, shut up.
And I can see her being extremely embarrassed, and Victor's kind of clueless on what just happened.
Yeah, he's just like, he just asked Hop, do you know what he's talking about? Yes. Are you going to tell me? No, it's funnier this way.
I could see Victor going, oh, how long have you been dating? To Hop.
Oh.
And Hop's just like,
you idiot. It's meant for no. I don't know. I do like the idea that all 5 of these characters, like, look, especially Bede, they'll all admit they like each other, but even towards the end of the series, Bede admit, like, somebody could, like, he could meet, like, a random person, and it's just like, so those are your friends over there who you're battling with? And they say, yeah, they drive me crazy. And Bede says, yeah, I feel the same way about my friends. And, like, because he admits at this point, they have helped him. He wants to take them down and be the champion and be the best, but he still admits that they are friends deep down.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to think of any. So, do we see anything of the not Isle of Armor, but the because we saw that through Victor. But do you think at some point that they would all travel together to the oh god, whatever the ice place was that was set up
Crown
in the sea?
Tundra.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I thought about Gloria catching a Frostmoth or a Snom, whatever the heck that thing was.
The one that everybody liked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I liked it too for the longest. Even if as I was running alongside in the game, it just kept following me at a very slow pace. I'm just like, yeah, take your time. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. You look at me. I'm not moving fast.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see them doing a whole the Dynamax adventure. It might be after Bede kind of is forced to leave the group when after destroying the mural, but just they get like, as it always seems to be in Pokemon, random drawing and you get tickets to the Crown Tundra.
Yeah. Oh god. I hate to backtrack, but I do remember one of the things I had for Bede.
Okay.
Bede is scared to death of Ball Guy.
I find that absolutely hilarious, so we will go with it.
Like, it's just like nobody even bothers to bring up the fact that, like, it's just some dude in a costume, but Bede's just like, no, keep him away from me, please.
Yeah, it's something to do with he was handed a Pokeball that was a trick one as a kid that when it opened, it was just like a Jack in the Box.
Yes.
It popped up and it scared the crap out of him, and he never wants it. Like, he's just got trauma from that.
Would you believe that Ball Guy has one of the most entertaining stories in Pokemon Masters? I'm not joking. It's legitimately hilarious.
I'm not surprised that the weirdest characters seem to get the best stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, by the way, besides Ball Guy, who's the main character's story? Oh, Ethan's in it. I'm like, yeah, what? Really? Him? Okay, sure, why not? I'm not writing this, but go for it. But I guess we've forgotten somebody, sadly.
Okay.
We forgot Sonia.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the internet would be very angry about that.
Oh, the internet hating our podcast for our takes? Gee, that's never happened before. I thought we were beloved.
No, but I don't know. I don't see us changing her character too much from the story. Her goal is to understand the darkest day and either prevent it or come up with ways of helping people survive it.
Yeah, and she's always like, I have to get better. I have to get better so my grandma will respect me. And then Hop without think. Actually, no, Bede without thinking could be like, oh, come on, you're not that old yet. And she and it's almost sounds like a compliment, but no, she just hits him like, you're an idiot for that.
Yeah, it's just that stereotypical, because she's what, like 18, 20 years old, something like that. And you've got this 10 to 12-year-old kid who's calling you old.
Yeah. I just remember that scene where, remember in the games where like Dynamaxing's going all over the place and gyms are going crazy?
Yeah.
I remember in the post game there's a part where where an explosion or a rumbling happens and Sonia runs up to the place like, what happened? It's like, and you could either tell her exactly what happened or exaggerate what happened. And Victor just exaggerates everything. It's like it was horrible. There was a giant explosion. The whole building's on. She's like, oh my god. Wait, the building's fine. It's right behind. Why would you do that?
I can see Gloria kind of coming up and hitting Victor in the back of the head like, idiot.
Yeah,
and then she just says that it's just Dynamax.
Just Dynamax. It's just like, can you guys just relax can you guys be normal for 5 minutes? And all 5 of them just sort of like look at her and like, Normal? Never mind.
I did have an idea. This would be a one-off episode, but it would just be it's something that I love about like a lot of the Pokemon episodes that they get. Orbeetle gets an episode where it comes down from space and it randomly starts trying to abduct like either one of the characters or a Pokemon, and we get a story about that.
I would like it if one of because it was got there was this episode of Teen Titans where they all got kidnapped by Mambo the magician, and like Raven was getting kidnapped, but and Robin tried grabbing her to save her, and then Cyborg, like you understand, like everybody tried grabbing each other to pull them back. But I get the feeling like Bede gets abducted, but then he grabs Hop, and then Hop grabs Gloria, Hop, and they grab each other. It's like, no, let me go, let me out. Do not do. They're not trying to help each other. It's just like, if I have to suffer, you have to suffer with me.
I could see it. I always like the space episodes. They're always so out there in left field, but I forgot that Orbeetle was a thing until I was scrolling through the Pokemon just now.
I can't even say that because Orbeetle was on my championship team on my first playthrough, so I always liked Orbeetle.
I had one, but I stopped using it when I got I think it replaced it with when I got my Flapple or my Applin.
Oh, that's right. That's another Pokemon that I'm started off not caring for, but I actually grew to really, really like.
I could see it being another one that both like Victor and Gloria both get an Applin at the same time. But I would definitely say Victor ends up with the Appleton, the big pie one.
Yeah. I kind of had an idea for that, and it's not my favorite idea, but it is an idea regarding that.
Okay.
Beforehand, Victor's doing, like, they all kind of want to help Victor at some point, whether it's just after his big blow up, or every now and then they're like, he does so much for us. Let's take over for today. So they all start making food in the shape of Pokemon. But I feel like some of them go better than others. I feel like Bede and Gloria do like fantastic jobs. Like, oh, this is based on my Rillaboom, and this is based on Alcremie. These are awesome, guys. These are awesome. I really appreciate it. Hop does a pretty good job with his, like, toxicity. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Yeah, and then I feel like Marty completely struggles. Like, she tries making something and it just comes out looking bad. It's just like, is this supposed to be an apple? And she's just like, yeah, sure, let's go with that. Like, she's like, I don't even want to talk about what I was trying to do. It's just an apple. And then Gloria brings up, wait a minute, aren't you only supposed to give an apple to somebody and then Marty just pushes her, like, shut up.
I can see that. One thing I could see, though, happening with that is that Gloria's looks good, but when Victor takes a bite, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I thought I had that idea, too. He's just like, he takes one bite, he's like...
And this is why I don't let you cook.
It's just like, why? Does your stomach hurt? It's like, my stomach doesn't hurt. I just feel sad.
Yeah, it's chewy when it was supposed to be crunchy, and tastes like broccoli that was just kind of boiled to oblivion, but there's no broccoli in it, and he doesn't know where the flavor came from.
The worst part is, I remember us making Lucas a bad cook too, so you'd think we'd get sick of it, but no, I don't know why, but the trope of someone being a terrible cook just makes me laugh.
And it offsets why she helps with, like, setting up camp instead of cooking.
Yeah. I don't know, but, like, I don't see us doing yet another best and worst cliches video, but I guess dibs on that one.
Okay.
Hey, but like I said, I do like the idea of there being a tournament at the end. Like, hey, this is where all of this is coming down to. I'm not including the Masters 8 thing. Like, this is its own series, so there's no Ash battling Leon at the end, so I guess technically one of these guys could face off against Leon.
Yeah, this is the Galar tournament. So, I see. So, kind of tying Gloria's all back together. Again, I wish I had thought more about her dad's situation, but again, at some point they uh, do kind of reconcile, and I have Gloria making it maybe to the top 16 or top 8, somewhere, and she's good. She makes it pretty far, but she doesn't make it to like the semifinals or finals. That's when she loses. I could see it being to maybe Hop in this case. Just
Oh, I was gonna say Hop beats B to finally earn his respect.
actually, well, but that could be further in the tournament or
Sure.
yeah. I would say maybe let's say Gloria, despite her competitiveness, is actually one of the first ones out. It's kind of shocking to everybody.
Yeah. As long as it's not too early, I'm good. If it's a tournament of how like I don't know, some of those tournaments had a lot of people in it, but she as long as she made it far enough to where she's not losing to Joe Blow, then we're good.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking like they get to what would be considered the final, so it's usually like the top 16, and she makes it to that point to compete, and so she makes it there and faces, I would say Hop. She was hoping to make it all the way through, but loses to Hop at this point.
If this were a more ambitious series, I'd honestly like it. Like I said with Sword and Shield, the games, the characters all have these great motivations for wanting to get stronger, being champion, etc., to the point where you kind of feel like a jerk for beating them. To the point where I'm like, you know what? Give us alternate endings. Let's see a story where Hop wins. Let's see a story where Marnie wins, beat, etc. We don't necessarily have to do it for this anime in particular, but just I don't know. Alternate. There are worse things to happen to anime than alternate endings.
Yeah, they would be fun. I mean, that's the thing. It's a video game, so you should be able to like if you lose, you should be able to let the story continue and see what happens. So if you lose to like one of the gym leaders in this Galar, because it's I call the gym leaders, and I think that they're removed. We're kind of are we going back to more regular gyms where they don't compete in the tournament, or are they in this
I could
finals?
take honestly, it's a coin flip. I could take it. I could take it one way or the other.
Maybe it's some. It's not all like it is in the game. Some make it, some don't.
Yeah, yeah. A sick, twisted part of me want Bede to go up against Ball Guy in the first round, but Bede wins, but he's never the same. Oh,
Just him sitting there shaking.
he's shaking. He just hugs his Pokemon like, "Thank you."
Yeah, like I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. Like I've always kind of figured that even okay, we got. I don't know who I would want facing Leon between all of these because it's super easy to say, oh, Victor does it or Gloria does it. But do we want to do that? Do we just want to say, well, obviously the protagonists? Even though I like what we've done with Victor's story, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm struggling with it.
We could bring in Tobias.
No, you know, I do. Yeah, but like I said, I want Hop beating B to earn his respect, and that's ultimately like you could even have them shaking hands at that moment, like not bad.
I could see that being like the top 8 match.
Yeah.
In
Yeah, heck,
going on to
the one thing though, I feel like even after all this is like Marnie tells Victor, it's like, look, I appreciate everything you've done for me. You've sacrificed, you've helped all of us, and I'll always appreciate it. Which is exactly why I'm gonna knock you out in this tournament. And he kind of smiles like, good, that's what I want to see. And I want them to face off.
that would be a fun semifinals, I think.
Yeah. And no matter who wins, Team Yell is the loud. Is like even if Victor lost, they'd be crying like, "Great job, Vic! That was amazing." I think just no matter who, because it's like they recognize that these are Marnie's friends, and they've all kind of helped her in a sense.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if I'm really trying to think of who should end up in the finals, or I guess winning the tournament to face Leon or something. I'm trying to think.
Hop.
So okay, so we have the brothers face off at the end.
Yeah, Hop and Marnie face off in the finals. No, I actually really like that. Hold on, I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, because we've kind of followed Hop as well. He may not be necessarily be the focus. He's more focused on than I think any of Ash's rivals really were. And
Yeah. Also, like I said, this is a make-do of him getting stomped by Ash in Journeys, which I'm sure we're going to talk about again at some point, but just, it's the idea of he faces off against his brother. I'm going to be honest, I don't really think he wins, but I never got that far in my thought process.
we could go with the another classic Pokemon trope of it comes down to the Charizard versus Hop had Cinderace, right?
Cinderace, yes.
So it's them, both Pokemon land like what should be pretty much a finishing blow, and Cinderace falls to the ground, defeated, leaving Leon still champion, but barely.
Can I switch the Pokemon instead, actually?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I noticed something, but in the playthrough of Sword and Shield, Hop has Wooloo, and when his confidence is shaken, he Wooloo's on the backseat. It's not for like a one, maybe two battles. Wooloo's not on his team, or Dubwool or whatever. But after he kind of finds his confidence again, it's back on his team, kind of showing it's my partner and I'm going to stick with it. So I would kind of like if it was the last one. Sure, it still can lose in the end, but it's a case of even with everything, Double never gave up on me. So I'm putting all of my faith in it. And even if they lose in the end, it would be a good moment for them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that in it being something like it uses Double Edge, where Charizard uses Flamethrower, and while it does massive damage to Charizard, the recoil damage from Double Edge is what allows Flamethrower to finish it off.
Yeah, kind of like in the Ash versus Elisa battle, like the Dynamo or Tynamo, when it was like, oh, tackle Pikachu, and it just left a giant crater in the stadium.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Leon wins, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Our main heroes lose in the end, but it's not like they all kind of gain something from it in a sense.
Yeah. And so, and I think you probably know where I'm going to go with this with Gloria's, but she gets the mindset after losing in earlier than a lot of her friends that she wants to compete again, but she wants to enter it as a gym leader. So she decides to open up her father's flying gym again, but she's going to go on a journey to build her team into flying Pokemon.
Yeah, I would be cool with it. Would we still have the same story of Marnie and Bede being gym leaders too, though?
Well, I think this is slightly different because they're both taking over existing gyms at the pro level. Gloria is only, because she lost so early, she's only getting like the semi-pro, so she's on the same level as like the two trainers that you talked about from the Isle of Armor.
Clara and Avery.
Yeah, so she's hoping that in the next year or two, once she has her team together, she can compete and maybe knock someone out and get the right to be a pro-level gym leader at some point. And she is eventually planning to go for the title of champion one more time, but that kind of becomes her new goal, is to have a base so that she can train her Pokemon and get to that level.
Yeah. And as for Victor, I feel like at the end of his story, he's kind of realizing, look, I almost changed the person I was thanks to everything that was going on with me, but I like the person who I was before, so maybe he takes some time and kind of just relaxes a little bit. But the second he's done, I'm like, all right, but after we're done relaxing and enjoying everything, it's back to training. Hey, maybe even at some points he continues his journey, just popping in at different places. And even Claire and Avery are like you're pathetic, but come by if you want to train sometime.
And I could see Hop wanting to also face everybody again, but he's going to go on a journey somewhere else to train and develop his team so he can come back and beat his brother. And we, like, the whole group is there saying goodbye as he leaves the region for a journey somewhere else.
Yeah, and they all kind of just do a signature we'll see you later sort of thing.
It's more than the Gen 5 people saying goodbye, where they just kind of Oh, we're going on a journey. Bye.
I told you I told you they're mad. They were mad. Iris and Ash were still mad at each other. So it's like, you know what? No, we're done. Let's Silent. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Yeah, like Ash ate all the prime rib before they started recording or something like that.
I did that one time, and you keep bringing it up.
Yeah, you didn't even eat all of it. You just took each piece and licked it. So you were like, these are mine now. You were that petty.
You've done it to me before as well with the Parmesan encrusted pork chops. So
Don't do that to me. I just ate, and I'm hungry again. But regardless, I do like to think that like they all find new steps of their journey, but they all kind of find a way of like keeping each other in the back of their heads. I'm not, after all this time, after all this growing, I'm still not losing to them.
I could almost see it ending with them all having the mindset, next time I'll beat Leon. Is kind of like how the story ends.
Yeah, definitely. And they all end up leaving, and it could be a pretty touching moment. Oh god, do Sonia and Marty interact in the games at all?
Not that I remember, but I mean, we could give them some time to interact.
I just feel like she likes Marnie's more, I guess, gothic personality. Like at first, Marnie thinks, "Oh, she thinks I'm cool," and Sonia's like, "It's just so cute," and Marnie's like, "What?"
Oh God, let's see. Yeah, and it's one of those things that they actually seem to get along. Like once they start interacting more, uh, Marty's embarrassed about it at first, but then they like maybe she even like she talks with Sonia about liking Victor.
Oh god. And she's just like, you could just tell him, hey, Victor, do you think Marty's? He's like, yeah, sure. And she's just like, idiot. You're not just supposed to come out and say it. And Victor's like, he just sort of blinks like, I don't know what I'm doing.
But Marty, I could see Marty doing the same thing to Sonia with Leon.
Oh god. I was about to say, she's gonna have competition because everybody seems to love Leon.
Yeah, I know, but it's just one of those like, just kind of it's almost the exact. I can see it being the same exact relationship where she has a crush on him and he's oblivious, just like Victor is.
Yeah, I could see I will say though, I see Leon being oblivious until somebody just tells him. I feel like in being 1,000% serious, I feel like Victor slowly starts realizing it's like, oh, oh. There were a lot of signs there that I did not pick up on.
Leon is just like, you know my sense of direction. I don't know how to tell you this any other way clearly. I don't know if he wanted that.
And you could even do a moment as they're all leaving, and Victor could even say, "Promise you'll see me again someday." And she's like, and she kind of rolls her eyes but she gives him a smile, like she thinks he's an idiot at times, but they all care about each other, and that's kind of her way of acknowledging he gets it.
Yeah.
Shit, did we just make a ship canon?
Yep.
Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? All right.
Look at us. We've come so far.
Yeah. I don't expect this to be a regular thing, you guys.
And we still end though with the Pokemon jamming out. Pierce and his band are going on tour with the Pokemon.
Yeah, works for me.
They're going to be world famous one day.
I sure hope so. Oh, as much as I would have liked to, and as much as I've done this for other videos of this nature, I wanted to include stuff from other game protagonists, but I just decided, not this time. Maybe they get cameos, but they don't get speaking cameos, but that's the most I came up with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if this is technically going on parallel to Journeys, then Leon maybe mentions that he's found an interesting trainer going into the World Coronation series, but that's all we get. We don't need Ash.
Yeah, like hypothetically, we see Ethan and Lucas at a coffee shop or at a pastry shop or something like that. They don't get any speaking lines. They're just their backs are to the camera or something.
Yeah, the kind of normal thing that a lot of these do, especially in these side stories, we seem to always end up with one of the other game characters showing up in anime.
Yeah. But the difference is, I feel like the audience would trust our interpretation because, like, hey, we gave them their flowers. This is just not their series at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. I mean, is there anyone that would show up as just even like for an episode where they're randomly challenging one of our main characters in this, or no?
Not particularly. Which makes me sad. It makes me sad, but I don't have anything off the top of my head.
I could see it being like the cameo. I mean, you mentioned the coffee shop, but I could see the cameo being during whatever the Darkest Day storyline is, that they're in the other towns and you see them taking care of the Pokemon there. Just, they're not part of the big story. They're just, you see them helping out in some way.
Yeah. I was thinking something along those lines too. I thought about doing that for a different series, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, I've got something that might be interesting, but we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. Although, do we have anything else though?
No, I think covered everything. We mentioned that they're not gonna see every gym battle for all 5 of our kind of main protagonists. That's just too much.
That would be ridiculous, honestly.
But we brought up that there are mini tournaments throughout that we get to see them do different forms of battle, maybe partner with different members of each other. And they all kind of have their own semi-unique goals at the end of the series.
Yeah. And even though most of them might not want to admit it, they all did learn and grow from each other. In a sense, that's kind of what Pokemon is. I'd like to think we did a pretty good job for these Galar characters. And even if we didn't, we still did better than Journey. So you have to give us credit for that.
Yeah, well, seeing as Victor and Gloria, and it would have probably been Gloria. Victor probably would have made a cameo, but that would have been it. If we had actually gotten the Galar series.
Like I said, Victor gets so little. I'd like to think I did him some justice.
Yeah, I think so. I again, unfortunately, not having seen any of him, we hardly know anything about him, unfortunately.
Yeah. But regardless, like I said, these are honestly probably one of my favorite videos to do. Let's take characters from the Pokemon games and put them in the anime, because not a lot of other people are doing these, at least as far as I can see. Hey, and I'd like to think we could still do more of these, especially since in some cases we have to go backwards.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. We have 4 characters in Black and White era, and the other one, I guess, is Sun and Moon, right? That's the ones that we really want to focus on, I think.
We already did Sun and Moon.
Oh.
Good. Okay, I don't need you to go back and watch every single one of our videos, but I'd like to think you would at least remember the ones we've shot that are more on the creative side.
It's been a while. You did say it's been a year since we filmed one of these. So.
Still. But let's see. Fuck you. Let's see. Black and White. It's gonna be a little more difficult. Technically, we could do Red in Gen 1 for Kant, but how about that? I have nothing for him.
He's Red as Ash. That's the issue.
Yeah, sure. And we still need to do our separate ones for Ethan and Brendan, which have been in the back of my head for a while now.
Yeah, so we already got May, so it would need to be Brendan and Ethan, and we could do, I guess, the original Gen 2 female if we wanted to include her.
She's in Pokemon Chronicles, but sure, okay.
Yeah, well, again, we'll probably go back and separate that stuff out.
Yeah. But regardless, putting game characters in the Pokemon anime, it's kind of tricky. And I'm sorry if some of you want us to put them in Journeys, but we just felt like this was a lot more interesting, all things considered.
Yeah, going back to the classic of there actually being gyms and all that is something that I know I've missed in Pokemon lately.
Don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying Pokemon Horizons, but if they went back to gyms the next series, I wouldn't complain.
I mean, oh, that's something because we could do technically a Paldea story. But...
We're not even. I don't think you or I are even close to far enough in Pokemon Horizons for. We could do that, but it would take a lot more time.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's a little bit of stuff with that, but I haven't seen enough to know where they get to.
Yeah. But I just, like I said, I like these creative videos. I like the fact that we get to do this stuff. And hopefully you guys do too. The views seem to suggest that you do, but I don't know. Maybe even just let us know which ones have been your favorites so far.
Yeah, and if you want us to do specific other animes, let us know. We've got, I think, quite a few of these in the pipeline, but they're not necessarily Pokemon.
Yeah. I don't know how many more game characters we can put into different types of anime, but I do understand what you mean, though.
We'll see. I think there's some stuff we could do.
Yeah. So are we ready to close out?
I believe we are.
All right. So, ladies, gentlemen, and others, what do you think about our interpretation of a Galar series for the Pokemon anime? Hey, did you like it? Did you have your own ideas? Let us know, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
Yeah, and I mean, did you have a completely different view of any of the characters? I'd be interested to know how you thought these different trainers should have been portrayed.
I guarantee you some of them are probably Scottish Gloria. Scottish Gloria, that's probably about 90% of what Pokemon fans are thinking.
She can have a Scottish accent, but we've at least given her some stuff that isn't just Scottish Gloria, because that's all that it seemed to be for a lot.
Yeah. I'm not going to say you're wrong, because you're not, but yeah. But like we said, just let us know what you think. And we'll get back to you. We appreciate the love, we appreciate the support, and we will see you guys next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.